Good morning and welcome to the channel on this 12th day of July 2026, which is a Sunday. I asked the question yesterday, did Iran start this current escalation that is happening? And the answer basically is yes. So what did it actually do to trigger this escalation? Well, it was basically started on the 7th of July with missile attacks on commercial shipping. Iran's IRGC launched missiles at commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. This was the first kinetic action after weeks of relatively quiet. Declaring the Strait of Hormuz closed. This is one thing that they always do. They announced it was closed to certain ships, a move seen as a direct channel to international maritime law, a provocation that forced a US response. They followed on with missile and drone attacks across the Gulf, and within 48 hours Iran launched ballistic missiles at US-linked sites in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar and Jordan, and drone swarms targeting Gulf infrastructure. This turned a maritime incident into a regional confrontation. So again, we ask the question, who started it? Iran did. The initial missile strikes on commercial shipping, the Strait closure declaration, the rapid expansion to multi-country missile and drone attacks. The US and the Gulf states responded after these actions. It is important to know that this is a fast-moving conflict and different sources are reporting on different things, so don't just take my word for it. I think you need to have a look at this. Anyway, in the next 72 hours, here is the forecast. Gulf missile drone attacks continued, but possibly more calibrated, and the risk level for that is extremely high. US airstrikes on Iran, ongoing focused on military infrastructure, and they've just hit 140 targets overnight. Strait of Hormuz shipping, of course, disrupted, partial closures and rerouting, and the risk level for that is very high. And wider regional war with Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, and there is a possible spillover into these areas. Iran's likely moves are to leverage Hormuz but not fully close it. Their main pressure tool is the Strait of Hormuz, and they've already declared it closed, but for how long, who knows. Also, they're going to continue missile drone salvos at Gulf states, targeting what they say is US bases, radar sites, logistic hubs. There is also a political message here tied to the succession. With the Ayatollah Khamenei's death and Mujtaba Khamenei pledging revenge, Iran's leadership is under pressure to show strength. Escalation is partly domestic signalling, so backing down quickly is unlikely. The US and their allies' likely response are more strikes on Iranian military infrastructure. So you can expect further waves aimed at degrading Iran's ability to hit ships and bases, so basically along the southern coast of Iraq. There is also going to be an intensified air defense posture in the Gulf states, and more interception, more alerts, etc. So we have the Strait of Hormuz and global markets, well, more rerouting, delays, insurance spikes. Some ships may avoid the strait entirely if attacks continue. Oil and gas markets already reacting. Further disruption could push prices sharply higher if attacks persist or a ship is sunk rather than just damaged. Escalation versus de-escalation. Well, in the short term, the next 72 hours, escalation is more likely than de-escalation. In the medium term, 1 to 2 weeks, pressure from energy markets, India, Gulf states, Europe and China will push hard for a new mechanism to restabilise Hormuz. There will be some form of limited ceasefire or rules of engagement. But right now, the system is still in prove strength phase, not the compromise phase. So it goes on and on and on. I think that there is a section in Iran that wants this to continue. They want to show that they can beat America. But their only tool is the Strait of Hormuz. I don't think America will continue to, if you like, partially attack Iran. I think eventually, if this continues, there will be an all-scale attack. Let us see. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.